The next question by Tim Ferriss was about our favorite failure, or like what failure has directly led to our success. I'm not sure about my favorite failure. Like in the moment, like there is no failure you look back on, you're like, that was really awesome, because at the time it was very painful. When I first graduated undergrad, I've been working with Illinois Business Consulting for a while, which was really cool, and it gave me an experience in business consulting that at that time frame, we're talking like mid 2000s, mid 2000s till 2007 is when I graduated from undergrad. Back in those times, business consulting was a big deal. McKinsey and Bearing Point and Bain and Company and Marketsphere were like huge names in business, and I got to interview with a lot of the biggest and the best, baddest firms out there, and I was like, it was my dream to be a business consultant. My undergraduate was all directed towards that. Well, after like my first 2 years of college were engineering, and then I switched over. But anyway, when I didn't get, like, I interviewed with the best, and I interviewed like several times with my favorite firms. I'd like first interview, second interview, third interview, and for me it was devastating when I didn't get those positions, when I didn't get the job offer to work with Bearing Point in particular. Like, that was such a heartbreaking moment for me. I really wanted to work for Bearing Point Consulting. Looking back, though, first and most importantly, Caroline and I both agree that if I had gotten that job in consulting with Bearing Point or with any of the other firms, that it would have required me, I mean, this is just how it works with business consulting, like you go wherever the projects are, with me having to travel to Boise, Idaho, or Seattle, Washington, or Miami, Florida for whatever job I had, or the middle of like Idaho or wherever, it probably would have torn me and Caroline apart, because for me to be on the road constantly and her to be, back home working, we weren't married yet at that time, but we were definitely a long-term relationship. And looking back, the failure to get the job that was at the time my dream job, ultimately I think that failure, that crushing blow that was not getting a job with Marketsphere Consulting, with Bearing Point, whatever, I think that it ended up being one of the best things that could happen to me, because first, it allowed me and Caroline to stay together, and Caroline has obviously been a crucial part of everything that I've done since that time. Helping me get through medical school, she was crucial in that. Helping me to start and build CrossFit Edwardsville. Like, CrossFit Edwardsville was definitely, it was born of our two minds, and the dichotomy between us, with me as like the technician, the engineer, the business side visionary, and Caroline is like the heart, the soul, the emotional intellect of the business. Like, if Caroline and I were not together, and if I had gotten that job, I'm pretty sure that being a box owner would never have happened, or it would have happened in a much less ideal way, or it would have just formed into something very different from what it is now for me, if it ever happened at all. And also, interesting side note is that couple of years after I got declined for the job with Bearing Point, Bearing Point Consulting had a major accounting scandal happen, which is like, this is the business that's teaching other businesses how to run their business, and they had this major accounting scandal that significantly affected their reputation and their business at the time. And when I heard about that, I was like, I would have been a part of that mess if I had been there. Maybe I dodged a bullet by not being a part of that mess. So that, is, I guess, the part that makes it maybe my favorite failure. It ended up working out well for me. That's the first one that comes to mind. And naturally, all the time that I spent in business, all the time that I spent learning business consulting and learning how to study a business, analyze its strengths, its weaknesses, and then try to evolve a business to better improve that. Those are all things that I use every single day being a box owner. So, fun for me now to say, like, I wonder how many people that do business consulting at Bearing Point have ever actually owned a successful business. And I can say that I have, even though they didn't want me to be a part of their team. After all of the interviews were said and done, they decided to go a different direction. I'm the one that owns a successful business. Even Bearing Point, when I last checked in, doesn't necessarily own a successful business. So, yeah.